it's just a natural thing. You bring in sports and competition.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
bring in dating. Oh my gosh. You bring in
Just
you know,
everything that like kids have to
everything.
go
Yeah,
through.
birthday.
We're
Yeah.
somewhat on the peripheral, and we're subject to friendly fire
Yeah.
there, and
Totally.
literally,
Literally.
not literally. No, that wouldn't make any sense. Sorry.
I went with it.
Yeah. All
Literally, I kind of go with naturally.
right.
Someone says it. I'm like, yes, unqualified, unsolicited, and totally honest opinions on midlife. Holy crap. Parenting is hard. I'm just going to say it. No one else in the mankind has ever said that.
This revelation is going to strike the internet like a wildfire.
Viral for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone's, can you believe I said it?
It's been declared.
Yeah. And it's so funny when you get married, you have kids, and you find your jam of how we both parent. But I love how both you and I, if anything happens with our kids, our first reaction is, what did you do? Because I think we both are like, we're not raising victims. They're kids. They're idiots. They're learning. This is their whole
Yeah.
job right now is just to be like, mess up. And then you learn what not to do. Sometimes it takes one time, sometimes 20. And I still am learning. It's just like evolution. It's just
Right.
how it happens. But I'm assuming at some point of a skerfuffle or with friends or life that they have some ownership in it. They have some part in it that haven't been perfect.
Yeah, it takes two to tango, and it's not like we don't ever have our kids' backs. Like I definitely,
Yeah.
I always say, like if it were to really hit the fan, please come to us. We'll circle up as a family and then address it. But yes, they are 100% imperfect beings.
Yes. And it's just always hard when you run into some people and they're like, I really think they have a perfect child. Like they're just like, yeah, we know that about them. So, and it's like, well, that is it. Like that is the like challenge for the situation right now, but it's always like, oh, even when they're good friends and you're like, okay, so that's how you're handling it. And then you got to check yourself and be like, what am I, like, and then you have to watch yourself that you're not too like, if this is a 50% line of like equal parts, whatever, someone might have been a little more mean or whatever, but I need to make sure that I'm not going too far to be like, oh, I'm so sorry your kid's feeling like that. I'm sure my kid, and then you talk to your kid, but I just have to make sure that I'm not too nice in the situation. I feel like I veer to be too nice.
Yeah, and I think what you're addressing is kids, friends, parents that are also friends with us. The lines can get blurred and it can get messy. And so we have a friendship with another adult whose child is friends with one of our children.
Yeah.
When a skirfluffle, as you said?
Skirfuffle. Yeah. That's what my mom always called it.
Skirfluffle.
No, you're adding an L. Skirfuffle.
Skirfuffle. When a skirfuffle happens, it gets weird. It gets weird in how we address the situation for our kids and how maybe the friends address the situation with their child. And that's when it gets wonky.
And most people don't love conflict.
Sure.
And I feel like the best thing is our kids are getting older and they're more apt and able to handle their own issues. So
Skirfuffles.
And so we kind of are like, hey, we're here. We'll all we can do is support you. But like, if you want to talk about it, I'm offer advice or I can just listen, but we stay out of it.
Yeah.
And until, like you said, if it's a safety concern or it's like anything big, we will get involved. But if it's just a skirfuffle, and I should be like in parentheses what that means in the Barb dictionary.
Let's have it. What does that mean?
Barb dictionary would be Bictionary. Bictionary. In the Bictionary. It just is like something that's not safe. It's just like an emotional upset. An emotional.
You just said something that's not safe. You mean something.
I mean, this is, something, emotional upset. It has nothing to do with safety. Completely safe.
Just
No one will
a
be
little
harmed
bit.
in
My
this
feelings were
situation.
hurt. Yeah.
Feelings might be hurt, no bones breaking, all that.
I think, in my point of view, these are some of the things that parents need to stay out of. Meaning, talk to your child, but you don't need to get in the face of friend's child or friend parent. I don't think it needs, because at times I think if the parents jump in too aggressively or they speak to someone beyond their child, i.e., the kid's friend or the parent friend, it snowballs.
It totally snowballs. And I get it. Every parent has a hard time when our kid is struggling or they're hurting.
Right.
We want to fix it.
Right.
And it is so hard not to fix it. And when they're little, we can step in and they're watching and we're modeling for them. And we're like, hey, why don't you, Johnny? And why is it always Johnny? Johnny's just the easy one.
Yeah.
Johnny, why don't you tell Sally sorry and this and that? But then when they get older, their peers start speaking up for themselves and being like, hey, Johnny, I don't love that you do this. And one of my friends that has older kids, like her youngest is our oldest, and she was like, this is one of those things you just got to let the peers tell each other when, what's okay, what's not okay. And because they have more agency with your kid and they will figure it out. And they have to be able to do that. So if parents step in, you're killing that and you're just prolonging this inevitable that one day will come and it hits even harder every year.
Yeah, it's better to
You prolong it.
slowly manage it
Yeah,
as you let the slack out and they leave for,
totally.
the world as they get older. Yeah.
And whenever I get in a situation, I always try and think, okay, what if I was the opposite side? Like I'm on this side, but how would I want it handled? How would I want someone to deal with me? And so when I know you can't completely try it on, but I always try and think of that because I love people. I want to make things better. I am a bit of a pleaser. I don't want the confrontation. I want everyone to be happy.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
do want, if there's a problem, I want them to work through it and gain those muscles because if they don't now, then like we were saying, it'll just prolong it and they'll have to gain it in the future. And then they'll be in high or college out of our house where
Yeah.
here it's safe and they can be crying and we hear them crying.
And
we're
the
like,
problems are usually kind of trivial at this age too. So
exactly.
I think
So if you cheat them out of the trivial, then they're going to get to really big ones and not have these muscles. They're going to be like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like I just, so it's just so awkward when you have friends that just parent different or handle different situations. And our way is not
no.
perfect at all. I think daily we're like, what?
We're still learning the parenting
We're
game. for
totally.
sure.
And we always will be because they're our kids, bless
Yeah.
them, will always present us with new challenges and be like, what are you gonna do now? And we're like, not sure. We'll get back to you because we gotta figure this out. Like it's just nonstop. But it's just, I think it's just always good to bring up the things that we might all be going through
Yeah.
of the friends and that they might be dealing with something different. I mean, we all parent it. We're all different human beings. We're all different situations. Of course, there's going to be differences, but it's just, I find even in adulting and friends, if you are just never wrong and you can't,
Yeah.
that's just so hard to get past because you're like, well, usually in any situation, someone's done something or they haven't communicated. They didn't
Yeah.
let you know, or they
Yeah.
didn't like do something and then they erupt or we're all kind of 8-year-olds still in these older bodies.
Yeah.
and
I mean, I
aches and
think
pains.
it's like a flag in football. Someone might have incited it, and then the second one to retaliate gets the flag. So I always feel like there is
Yeah.
two to tango. They're not both innocent.
Yeah.
And I find that, like, going back to sports with the other coaches that I'm coaching with, like, I find that I like at times when our children mess up in sports or whatever, or say something wrong or do something wrong, to just at least say, yeah, you know what he did was not okay. And we talked to him at home, or we're going to talk to him at home,
Yeah.
or her at home. And because I think it helps other parents, maybe, or other coaches to be like, yeah, no, we acknowledge that. He's not perfect. And like, we're going to address this and we're
Yeah.
going to move on. And
all good.
yeah.
And you know what the
Yeah.
beauty is about kids? They move on so quickly.
Yeah.
If you just let them move on and like them handle it, they're like one text, "Hey, yo, bro," or "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean this." And then that was like the guy and then the girl. And then they just move on. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah.
Usually it's not that big and they can move on. But when parents get involved, then it's like awkward. And then the kid's awkward with the parent because then they're like, oh my God, the parent hates me now. I don't want to go over their house. Or then our friends were like, "Ugh."
It
I just,
escalates it, I think, to a
it
level
does.
that probably doesn't need to be done. I mean, there are moments, by all means, that maybe get so big that yeah, you do,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Parents need to talk. Something serious happens. So we're talking again about
Yeah.
scurf
Waffles.
waffles,
No
right?
one's harmed, only emotions, which emotions
Yeah,
can be big.
yeah, yeah.
But
Someone said
those
something dumb, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, or just wasn't invited and
yeah,
just didn't communicate, which can happen
growing
and should
pains.
happen.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like when we went to our pediatrician with our kids when they were little and we'd show up for the checkup and I loved him. Dr. Bursch, shout out. But our kids would sit down and he'd be looking them over and he's like, I don't see enough bruises. Not like the play bruises. I don't see enough scrapes, or this is what you should be doing. Go play tough. Go be. And I feel like, as awesome as we want to pave these smooth paths and sweep and bulldoze and do all these things, if they are not getting those bumps and bruises now,
yeah.
it just
It sets up your limits, your walls. You can't
yeah.
push people too far. You can't say these things. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
It's human behavior. And this is
yeah,
where they gain those life skills of like, oh, I can't do that anymore. It might have worked in elementary school, but now I'm in middle school and oh, I got to kind of change my ways
yeah,
or I got to be a little
yeah,
nicer. Or you know what? Okay, I used to talk about people. I can't do that because it turns out they're going to tell someone, and it's just like, oh, you hit the wall once, maybe twice, third time you're like, okay, come
yeah,
on, get it. But
yeah,
and it's just it's tough. And again, our kids are super flawed and perfectly imperfect. And we just always try and check up with them and be like, okay, what's your side of the story? What could you have done better? What do you think you should do now? And I always, and you always say too, is like, always be kind. Even if the
yeah.
person is just always be kind because you don't have to be close to them. You can give them like, I need some space. You're really bothering me right now, but always be kind. Don't be talking to other friends about them. And
I find that like with our kids stuff, a lot of these little ones, these little issues, it just snowballed. It's someone says something back,
yeah,
someone says something back. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it's ballooned into this thing. And then if the parents get in, like you were saying, it goes even greater. Whereas they can't even work it back to what they're really even mad at.
yeah,
And for most times, I mean, this isn't all the cases, but I guess it just the point is the parent involvement on the outside of the home bubble, meaning correct your child, tell your child, lay down, stop. Someone's got to stop,
yeah,
right? Great. Anything that gets outside of those walls, I think it tends to convolute the matter and only exacerbate the issue, and it makes it bigger.
yeah,
And so, as parents, it's our role to know when to jump in and take this outside the walls,
right,
i.e., call someone and say,
yeah,
"Hey, your child," and when to just be able to be like, you know what, we're going to manage it in the house,
yeah,
get our kid on the right track, and then move on.
right.
And I think all too often parents are jumping in too much.
And have you heard of the 24-hour rule on any like
Yeah.
issue? I think that's really good because
Say it though in the Barb dictionary.
in the bar,
Yeah.
I
Do
didn't
numbers
make it
come
up.
at the end, or like would that be
Skerboffle
off
might have been
the
a
tee?
family thing,
Okay.
but like I didn't make up the 24-hour rule.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really good
Just
thing
take credit for it now.
for anything in life is if something upsets you, someone else did something, or a teacher, you heard something, like give it 24 hours because you got to go through your emotional stages of like like outrage, upset, whatever. Throw another one in there. Angry,
Yeah.
all the things. And then nervous, anxiety, like just throw in, yeah. But you do work through that. And then you're more level headed. So you're not throwing fuel on the fire. Do you have aging parents and you're still raising your kids? Then welcome to the sandwich generation. It can be super overwhelming, but I've got you. I wrote an ebook that helps you save time, energy, and money. And you can get your copy on thesandwichgen.com/ebook, and it'll help you with all the things you need. Like, you are just giving it space to think clearly and then move forward of a solution instead of making it worse.
Yeah, which is hard for a child to do. I think it's hard for a parent.
Oh, for sure.
It's hard for us.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I don't practice what I preach at all.
Yeah.
I don't always adhere to that. I'm just saying it's good to have a goal of 24 hours. I mean, even a couple hours.
Bottom line, someone has to stop.
Yes.
Just
and I
start being nice. And if it's someone that's really bad to you, I think just shut it down. You don't have to be friends with everybody.
Right.
You
And that's what we had with another kiddo.
And just do your thing. If they're not gonna, what did you used to say? If they're not gonna fill your bucket, move on.
Yeah.
There's many of other people. There's billions of other people in the world. That you can go find a friend. Not everyone's gonna like you. It's just a fact of life. And who knows? It might be your problem, their problem, whatever problem. Move on.
And I didn't learn that till my 20s. I mean,
it's a hard one to pursue.
It is. And I thought that everyone around me, I was like, oh, we're friends. We're just friends. Yeah. And then even if they were, I was like, why are they treating me bad? We're friends. I don't understand what's going on. And I'm just going to keep trying. Okay, you don't like this about me. I'm just going to boop, 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 and just adjust. Not the best thing, but I love that we're showing our kids like, hey, exactly what you said. Like, if they're not being kind to you, like, be kind, but you can be like, okay, yep. But like, be friendly, but you don't need to be friends with everybody. Don't wait till your 20s. And it's those people that you walk away and you feel better for.
Yeah.
Well,
you feel better for not having them in your world, is what you're saying.
Well, both. Like, if they're not your people, you feel better for. But the people you fill your bucket, and you, every time you leave them and you've been with them, you just feel better for it. I always say it is a feeling thing for me. And I think when I learned that hard lesson of being voted off an island of friends, that I was like, friends, I learned that, it is a feeling. Like, if I really asked myself, like, were they good friends? Or did anything they do be friend-like to me? No. But I was like, we're friends.
So what do you do with a child friend whose parent is also a friend, and it's headed in a wrong way because the two children can no longer get along? What do you do?
What do I do? Well, Brian.
Yes. Buffer.
Yes. I talk to you. Like, vent and be like, what do I do?
Right.
And then if you don't have any good solution,
which is rare, that would.
I might phone a different friend.
Oh gosh, yeah. You only get
if I'm really lost. Otherwise, I try to give time. Then, if needed, like if time could be 24 or like a week or whatever, just waiting for calmness to blow over.
Yeah.
Instruct my kid to be kind and handle what I can at home.
So hopefully lower that.
Right. And then just be like, and then give some time between me and my friend. And then I always like to talk in person, because texts, goodness, could be read a million different ways. Yeah. And it's like, if you chose this word over there, like someone's interpretation could be so different than what your meaning was. So worst case, do voice text, but at least your inflections are more, there's no guessing room. Yeah. So I do not like texts. In person's my first, which is most awkward, but like, you can hug at the end or like hug at the beginning.
Right.
And be like, I love you. We got to work this out. We can totally do this. Whatever. And then I go into cheerleader mode, because I'm so positive and I'm focused on the outcome that I want, which is happiness. And then I'm very honest. I'm like, this is so hard. This is so awkward. I don't know what to do, but all I know is this is not okay for me. And this is like, I need to talk to you because you are a good enough friend that I want to work through this with you. And if I don't talk about it, then it's just going to build up and it's going to be all crazy. And then I won't be modeling what I'm trying to teach my kids. And it's just like owning what's okay and not okay. And that when there's a strong base of friendship, you can get through anything.
Yeah.
And it's just saying what's okay and not okay going forward. if you need to have a safe word going forward, it's like that just popped in my head. But like, what's happening? Penguin, penguin, whatever, you know. But that would be my process. But like definitely just need my 24-hour period would be talking to you, kind of just trying to process it. And when you talk out loud, at least for me, it helps me process things that
Sure.
like
Yeah.
that sounds kind of crazy. It kind of sounds, whatever. And then just try and hopefully time heals some things and makes it a little easier. But I am a venter.
Yeah.
Venting helps me so much. It's like the boiling pot of water. And if you don't let out the steam, it's like you've seen it many times. If I don't let out the steam, yeah, it's like,
Penguin. Well, yeah, because yeah, it's hard because I do feel like a lot of our friends are the parents of our kids' friends.
yeah, well, it's
'Cause
just
that's the
natural.
nature of where we live.
Totally natural.
And it does get hard or awkward when the
Oh.
kids get in scenarios, and to not let that become a scenario between the parents.
Oh yeah, and then anyone you talk to, all my friends, they have gone through skerfuffles with their friends of kids' friends, and that made sense. I think it made sense,
think
but
so.
yeah, and it's just a natural thing. You bring in sports and competition.
Yeah.
You bring in dating. Oh my gosh, you bring in
Just everything that like kids have to go through.
yeah, birthday.
We're
yeah,
somewhat on the peripheral, and we're subject to friendly fire there.
yeah, totally.
And literally.
Literally.
Not literally. No, that wouldn't make any sense. Sorry.
I went with it.
Yeah.
Literally, I kind of go with it, actually. 'Cause someone says it, I'm like, yes, yes,
You're
literally.
wrong.
I like to use. It's like you're proclaiming it,
Yeah.
so I believe
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
But I do find that that's a hard thing to navigate. And like, I'm just trying to think of key ways to help that. I think bringing it up, I do think like talking, and a lot of our stuff would be with me and other coaches and just being like, yep, he did it. That was lame. And that's one thing that I was talking to Maddie about this morning, because we were talking about politics and stuff, and something that you don't really see out of leaders so much anymore. And I tell Maddie that like one of my things that I always have tried to do is own up to my mistakes.
Yes.
Right? Yep. You all mess up.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you go into a meeting where you blew it,
yeah,
it's so much better to go, I blew it. Here's what I did. Here's what I was thinking. I'm sorry. Here's now my course of action to correct it. And then let's spend some energy moving forward versus this argument. You know what I mean? Where we're rehashing something that is already done.
Yeah.
And you don't see that so much anymore.
No.
People sidestep.
Or they put like, it's a bad hand of poker. I use this analogy a lot, but I like it. When you have a bad hand and you're just like putting more money into it, like they'll buy it.
Yeah.
They'll buy it. They'll buy it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Or, like if you said bad meeting. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Bad
like,
meeting.
No, if I did something wrong.
Well, did something wrong,
something
but you gave an example. I thought it was the meeting. It was like a minute ago. How did I forget that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
time will tell.
Yeah. We'll call it a meeting because I swear you said meeting.
Right.
Okay. So you have a bad meeting and you want to be like, oh my God, that was what? Where was I? That was awful. I'm sorry. What I meant was this. And then, because if you don't do that, I would, if I had a bad meeting, would then go home and be like, oh my God, what an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. And then kind of just already start separating from that person. Perpetuates like horribleness.
Yeah.
So it's just own your shit. We all got it. Someone's going to be like, good on you. And it's like, I don't know if I've ever brought this up, and I don't know why this is coming up, but it kind of is in line. It's like, come with a solution, not a complaint. And the complaint could be being silent, or just not like, or pushing it on someone else. It's just like, have what you want in hand instead of even from a mistake of like, hey, I want to work this out with you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know why it's been weird for a day. I want to work it out with you. Like, come with the solution forward or the request forward. And then you like the rest, you can just, and then the person knows your intention.
Yeah.
It's like when people have to get in these uncomfortable situations, like a lot of this, when I talk to a lot of my friends about aging parents, and they're like, oh God, it's so awkward. They don't want to do this. And I'm trying to get them to do this. And, I don't even know how to start the conversation. I'm like, why don't you just start with like what you're trying to do for them? Like, I love you. I want to help you in the best way I can. This is what I was thinking. What do you think about this? It's like, if you just call your shot,
Yeah.
people are going to be like, all right. Like,
Yep.
instead of this, like, hey, I was the other day, and then just like all this shit, and you're like awkward as hell getting through this, like weeding through this crap. And then they're like, that's what you were trying to say? Just, I like just starting, like,
Yeah.
like call to action, having it at the front instead of at the back, or bookend it. And then you're like, and then you can feed in the middle, but then have the call to action again at the end, like your intention. I'm naming it like 5 million different things.
No, I mean, I think that's all great. And I think I had an issue where a dad called me not that long ago. And I've never really, like most dads kind of don't ever do that. It's
Right.
really kind
I
of
don't even
dad thing.
think I know
I
this
think that was my
situation.
one time that it happened.
Do I know this story?
Yeah, I think you do.
Oh.
But it was just a thing between the boys, and they're so competitive that one said something, and it snowballed, and they couldn't even get back to the root of the argument,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
But it got to a point where there were some seriously hurt feelings, and then when the dad called me, he was like, "Oh, I hate that I have to do this," and I was like, "No, I was talking with Carson. I'm glad." Because we've been navigating this, and here's Carson's perspective. A lot of like what I said, and I go, Carson really, really likes your son and thinks of your son as a great friend. And I kind of just started that right off the bat, and I think it immediately just cleared the air. In that we both, then he was like, "Yeah, my son really likes Carson," and it was just like, "Oh, these idiots just started shooting off missiles and couldn't stop because
No,
one
like you
person."
said, one wouldn't just be like, hey, dude, I'm sorry, or where are we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just like, dude, you gotta like.
Yeah. Especially
So
middle school, everyone has their armor on, their
yeah.
guard up. They're all in survival mode. So they're just like throwing and diving. Like, they're just like
But
protection
but
mode.
but if you listen to what we've just said, we've kind of talked in circles. So we've said, don't
You
talk to
always
the other
do.
parents. And then we're like, but it does work sometime. So a lot of it's a gauge. But I think
Yeah.
when you do have to go outside the walls, here's the thing is, like you said, and state your intentions. Really bring it back to like, my child likes your child. If we're going to take it outside of the walls of
The
the house.
positive intentions.
Yeah, it's
Your
like
kid
it's
did
like
this.
we care about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you're not
no
going to
pointing
get
fingers. That's not gonna, or like my kid's the victim. It's like,
and it's
hey,
so rare.
yeah.
These little boogers can lie, and
Oh,
so we
yeah.
don't know the
No.
truth. Two can tango.
And also, they have a hard time seeing their faults in
Sure.
situations. So they're like, I didn't do anything. And then when you're like, give me the play by play,
You're like,
you see
Yeah.
what you did there?
Yeah.
And then there, and then, do you see? And they're like, oh, well, I didn't think that. And you're like, well, that all led up to this on your end.
So I guess I kind of think, you go outside the walls. The parents have to be able to be grown up enough to want to make it work versus pointing the finger. And if you go outside the walls and you're pointing the finger, you're not going to get the answer you want.
And
It's not gonna
kids learn by what we do, not what we say. So if the parent is pointing fingers and not admitting any fault, guess what their kid's always gonna do?
Yeah. And, it's
And
never gonna
so,
go that
but
way.
if the parent is like, hey, I think always, like we said, try and have your kid navigate it first. If it gets so big that they can't navigate it, then maybe parents can like help out and be like, but coming from a good place of, hey, my kid loves your kid, or hey, I want to work through this.
Yeah.
This happened. Is there any way we could get the kids together and get it to work, or talk about it, or I just want you to know where we're at. We're good friends, just how we're handling it, where we're coming from. And this is a shit show, and we're just trying to help not be such a shit show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just coming from a place of
Because
passion.
we all want, I think at the end of the day, no one wants, I mean, this is not talking about bullies or
Sure.
this is talking about fawfuls, which I'm going to keep adding to the definition, is when it's an emotional
It would be like
conflict.
you're citing the second.
Yes.
Yeah, second or third.
Two
So we're talking
part.
five.
Emotional conflict between friends.
Yeah.
Skerfuffle.
The things that can be overcome very, quote unquote, very easily, or should be overcome very easily. These are not like huge issues. These are not abuse issues. These are not like,
Yeah. I love that what are we, lawyers? We're like,
First of all,
if you
don't
have,
come to us for legal advice. Don't come to us for medical advice.
No.
You know, take everything that we say with a grain of salt. We're just two people here
we're not
navigating skirfluffles.
yes, adding like legal verbiage really quickly. Can you read really fast? Could you do that? Like, if you have a major problem, please consult a physician. We are not experts or paid professionals. Yeah.
I just turn into gibberish, just noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like watermelon.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
what we've learned here today.
I mean, I hope everyone's mind's blown,
Mm,
that they feel that this is
Howard.
powered. But I do think there is some
not to make a
tidbits.
light of it.
There's some tidbits. There's some gems in here.
Your kid's
Some
shit
gems.
stinks. Your shit stinks. And if we all start,
Everybody's shit stinks.
that's it. If we all start from a place of like, you know what?
Turns
I
out
probably
we're
got
human.
a hand in this.
Yeah.
Let's navigate to our intention. Like right off the bat. These two, I think you're a great friend. I think when our kids are out of the house, we're still going to be great friends. What our kids are going through right now is just kids being kids.
Let's let them.
Yeah, let's let them navigate this. Or what do you need from us to help, blah, blah, blah. What situation can we put the kids in? Let's all go to coffee. But I think it's just a little bit of like lowering maybe your family guard down a little bit too. So if you do go outside the walls, you got to go hat in hand. You can't point the finger. Because there's no way you're innocent.
You can't come for a solution pointing fingers. That's like the longest
First
way.
waffles.
Yeah, it's the longest way to get there. So
it's a hard road.
You are awesome.
You are fantastic.
If you loved hanging out with us, hit that follow button and share this episode with someone who could use a little midlife magic. Now go rock the rest of your day.